everyone, and welcome back again to my channel. My name is Gloria, and if this is your very first time, I want to say welcome to Gloria Oz's channel. In this channel, we talk about life in Canada for new immigrants and also everything you need to know about things you need to do before you come to Canada, and when you arrive in Canada, what you need to do and what you need to know. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about immigration representatives or licensed consultants. We're going to share who they are, what they do, and how you can find them here in Canada. I'm not talking about those in your country, your home country. I am talking about the ones that are registered with the government of Canada here in Canada. So if this is the kind of content that you are excited to watch, please don't go anywhere because I'll be starting right now. Welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about who a representative is, why you should hire or not hire a representative, and also how to find one here in Canada. The truth of the matter is there are many agents who are around the world, but the ones that are very recognized by the government of Canada are the ones here in the country. And so most people would look for an immigration consultant to help them with their immigration to Canada here in the country. I know the government of Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada has made a video about immigration consultants saying that the ones from outside your home country, many of them are not genuine. Many of them just want to eat your money and go without giving you the right information. Some of them will even put you in trouble. Some will misrepresent you and things like that. So to avoid that from happening, you have to choose an immigration consultant here in this country, Canada. Now, a number of people have reached out to me and said, Gloria, how do I go about getting an immigration consultant? And I know I have sent so many times that I do work with, not really that I work per se, but I collab with them, an immigration consultant firm here in Canada called Human Squad. I will leave the details in the description box. I partner with them to help people who are looking for licensed immigration consultants to help them for their immigration purposes in this country, either to come as an international student or to come to visit or to come as an on the express entry portal through as a permanent resident in this country. So that consultant or those consultants, they help people to do that, and they're called Human Squad. Like I said, I will put the information on the description. Just before we go ahead, I want to make this disclaimer that I am not an immigration consultant. I do not work for the government of Canada, and I am not a lawyer. All I do is just share information that is readily accessible to anybody, I mean anybody, by doing a Google search and by checking the information on the Government of Canada website, cic.gc.ca, where you get a ton of information about how to immigrate to Canada, either as a visitor, a student, a worker, or a permanent resident, even as a citizen, how you can be a citizen in this country. All that information will be on the Government of Canada. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now that we have that out of the way, let us start with a representative. And all the information I'm going to be talking about today will be from the Government of Canada website, where I told you there are a ton of information accessible to you. So we start with the who is a representative. If you do have any questions as we go along, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments section. Now, so an immigration representative from Canada, they explain and they give advice on your immigration or citizenship options. They also help you to choose the best immigration program for you. They fill out and submit your immigration or citizenship application to Canada. They communicate with the government of Canada on your behalf. They also represent you in an immigration or citizenship application or hearing. Lastly, they advertise that they can give immigration or citizenship advice. Somebody who is not licensed to do this would not be able to give you any of this. And if they do, you have to be very careful also. So the information does not apply to passport applications. That's one thing you need to know. Representatives or immigration representatives could be citizenship or immigration consultants. They could be lawyers. they could be your friends, they could be family members or other third party. That is the definition of a representative. Now, a licensed one is the one that is licensed with the government of Canada to help with information about Canada immigration. Let us not make a mistake with differentiating between those two. A representative is somebody who is sitting representing you in things like your application, but a licensed immigration consultant is quite different. So let us not mix the two together. Now, when you go to the Government of Canada website, I'm going to read this verbatim so that you can understand, do you necessarily need a representative? It says you don't need to hire a representative. It's your choice. Using one will not draw special attention to your application, and it doesn't mean that Canada Immigration will approve your application. You can get all the forms and instructions you need to apply for a visa, a permit, or citizenship free of charge on the Government of Canada's website, the one I called before, cic.gc.ca. If you follow the instructions, you should be able to fill out the forms and submit them yourself. Now, here is a caution. Beware of fraudulent representatives. You can learn how to protect yourself from fraud by going to the Government of Canada website. Now, there are two types of representatives that we need to talk about. One is a paid representative. That is the one that I told you is an immigration consultant that is licensed. And anyone who is licensed can collect money from you. The second category of a representative is one who is unpaid. Those ones cannot collect money from you. Now, when we talk about an authorized paid representative, like I said earlier, these are people that you actually pay money to help with your immigration processes. It says only some people can charge a fee or receive any other type of payment. These people are called authorized representatives. They can either be lawyers, paralegals who are members in a good standing of a Canadian province or a territorial law society. They can also be notaries who are members in good standing of the Chambre des Notaires du Québec. And lastly, citizenship or immigration consultants who are members in good standing of the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. These are licensed immigration consultants here in Canada, and you can verify their information on that website. It also says that they don't deal with representatives who charge a fee but are not authorized. So the Government of Canada, in terms of looking at those who are your representatives, if they're not charging you for a fee, that means they are not licensed to do so. So if you use an unauthorized representative in Canada or abroad, we may return your application or refuse it. So you want to be very careful. This is the caveat here, saying that in case you use a representative who is unpaid, and they get to know about this, they can reject your application, okay? Because that representative is not an authorized representative. So unpaid representatives, now their definition are people like your family members, your parents, your other third parties who do not charge you a fee for your application. Now, look at this information here. It says you that's watching me today, you are responsible for all the information in your application, even if your representative completes it for you. Beware of representatives who advertise their services as free and later ask you to pay a fee. Beware of representatives who advise you to lie on your application. Be very well aware of this. It is against the law to give a false or misleading information in your application. Sometimes it's not as if it's intentional. Sometimes the representatives you use from your own country, when you are giving them the information, for example, I'll use one random one, your date of birth. Your date of birth might be 1986, but they might mistakenly put something different. They might put 1988 in error. That is misrepresentation on its own, and it can ban you from coming to Canada for 5 or 10 years, as the case may be. So you want to verify everything that person is doing for you, whether paid or unpaid. So it doesn't matter if I go ahead to pay an immigration consultant here in Canada, I need to verify what information that they are sending across the Government of Canada, because They are representing me. It is as though I am the one sending that application. So I need to verify, you need to verify that the information that they are sending is genuine. Now, other types of help. They said other people who may access your information. You may get help from somebody who is not acting as your representative. For example, someone who can check your application status from time to time. You can get those kind of people. This person is not considered a representative as long as they do not advise you on which program to apply for. They don't complete or update your application, or they do not act as you when dealing with the government of Canada. Those are different sets of people. To protect your privacy, you need to give us your written consent before we share any personal information with anyone. So if you're going to be using a paid representative, you have to fill a form, use of representative form, so that the government will know that you are using this person as your as a paid representative, so that they can have that information on their records. You cannot use an unpaid representative to liaise with the government of Canada on your behalf. Please do not make the mistake between these two. Let's now go into how to choose an immigration or citizenship representative. They said to find a paid or unpaid representative, you need to ask people you trust to recommend someone to you. Be sure to get advice from several people before you choose. Make sure you ask questions. Be careful of someone who won't answer your question. That means that they cannot represent you. They cannot give you any information about Canada immigration. If you're hiring a paid representative, what should you know? First and foremost, find out if they are licensed with the government of Canada. This means that they need to have a license to practice and give advice. Somebody like me, I am not licensed. I'm not a licensed consultant. That's why I always use the disclaimer whenever I want to make my video saying I am not licensed with the government of Canada, so that you don't ask me to make your application for you, because I do not have the authority vested upon me to do so. So your paid representative, if you choose a paid representative who is not authorized, we may return your application or refuse it. If you give a representative money or compensate them in any other way in exchange for their services, they are considered paid, and they must be authorized with the government of Canada. Ask about the representative's training and experience. Ask for references and find out how long they have been in the business. If a random consultant comes to you and tell you, oh, I've been an immigration consultant for 10 years, verify that information. Oh, I've been in this business for 5 years. Make sure you verify that they're right. And there's a way you can do that. It also says that make sure to get a written contract and read it carefully. Whatever you are signing with anybody, make sure you read, verify before you pen your signature, because your signature is your signature. Make sure that the fee that you have discussed is the same fee that you will pay that is on the contract. If you're using a representative who works in Canada, you can also contact the Better Business Bureau. The link will be there. It can tell you if it has received complaints about an immigration consultant or not. Let us now talk about tips to protect yourself from fraud. I hope you have a pen and paper, because this is the most important part of this video. Don't miss any of this point. Be careful of anything that sounds too good to be true. Using a representative will not draw special attention to your application or guarantee that it will be approved. Beware of representatives who encourage you to give false information in your application. It is against the law, and you could be denied entry into Canada or deported once you arrive in the country. Do not leave original documents or photos with your representative. Do not sign blank application forms. Don't sign forms or documents unless you can read them. If you don't understand them, please ask somebody to translate for you. Make sure to get copies of any documents you give to your representative, or any document that your representative makes. Make sure you make a copy for yourself. Anytime you pay your representative, make sure that you get a signed receipt for your own evidence and for your own keeping. Make sure your representative updates you on your application often. It's not one that you will not hear from them, because I've had people come to me and say their representative or their agent has not replied them. They don't know what is going on with their application. You want to be very wary of that. protect your money, and remember that the immigration consultants here in Canada will never call you and ask you to deposit money into a personal bank account. They will never do that. It always goes through a secure platform. They will also never ask you to transfer money through a private account or a money transfer company. All the processing fees, the amounts are in Canadian dollars, and they're the same around the world. If it is a $100 fee for a visitor's visa, it is a 100 fees across the board. It's not going to be 110 in certain countries. It will be the same everywhere. Again, the website is saying that you don't need to use a representative for your application to come to Canada. All the forms, all the instructions, all the guides are in the Government of Canada website. Very, very readily accessible to anybody by just doing that search, taking a small amount of time from your busy schedule, and read, research, and make sure you get all the information you need. If you follow the instructions, you should be able to fill out the forms and submit them without the help of a representative. So, how do you find a representative? I'm going to keep or drop a link to how you can find an immigration consultant here in Canada. I know in the past I made a detailed video about Canada immigration fraud and scams in this country and how you can avoid it. And I know there was a ton of information in the description box. Many people came back to me and said, Gloria, thank you very much for this video. In fact, that video is one of the highly watched video on my channel. A lot of people are gaining a lot of information from it. And before I end this video, I know a number of persons have reached out to me saying, is this particular consultancy firm reliable? Are they genuine? Or they asked me to pay $3,000 for this, and I don't know if I can trust them. If you have watched this video up until now, you should be able to know if an immigration consultant is actually genuine or not. If you do have any questions about anything that have been said today, please let me know in the comment section. And if you've watched this video up until now, guys, please go ahead right now and give this video a massive thumbs up. The reason for giving the video a thumbs up is that YouTube will notice that people love watching the video, and they'll recommend it to other people who are interested in this kind of information. They say information is key, and so please do not keep this to yourself. Share my video to your family, your friends, your loved ones, those who you know are intending to come to Canada, so that they will know how to avoid getting into this trap of licensed immigration consultants or representatives moving to Canada. And also, I make my videos once a week, every Sunday on my channel. So until I see you in my very next video, please don't forget to watch any video that you see pop up on your screen, and read my description box, because there's a ton of information on there that you can benefit from, and I'll be dropping some links that's very important for you. Until I see you in my very next video, guys, please stay safe and bye-bye.